Hello, people. A trip down memory lane, revisiting Skyrim. Was anybody aware that shadowmere can die? I wasn't aware of this. I thought this horse was indestructible. This horse was the second saddest death in the game for me. The first being Lydia. Lydia and I were in a dragon fight when I was lower levels, and she did not survive the fight. I was very, very sad. I actually revisited the body a couple times to mourn over her death. How I killed shadowmere was just what I'm doing now. Oh, excuse me. I was going off a cliff, taking shortcuts, and I went off a cliff that was too much for the horse to handle. I survived, and the horse didn't. So, very, very disappointing on this shadowmere death. Now, as we continue our little tour here of Skyrim, reflecting on what a fun game this was. Yes, I do miss this game. I want to talk a little bit about severe weather. We've all been in severe weather, snow, rain, whatever. Well, I was in a hailstorm this past week, and this hailstorm was so bad it was whiteout conditions. Instead of snow, it was hail, whiteout conditions. I could not see past the hood of my truck, which means I couldn't see the car in front of me, but thank goodness I could at least see his hazard lights blinking. So I was just following these lights, is all I was following. I couldn't see anything else. And we were just putzing along at less than 5 miles an hour. I think I was lucky if I was even doing 2. But the hail dimpled the hood of my truck, and my truck is now 13 years old, so that doesn't bother me too much. It's got other cosmetic issues as well. If I go through another hailstorm this severe, then I'll worry about getting the hood fixed. But walking around the truck, that hailstorm punctured. I've got 2 holes in my taillight now due to that hailstorm. So I'll need to be replacing the taillight at some point in time. But man, seriously, folks, I was praying that stuff would not come through my windshield. And speaking of that, I got a new crack in my windshield from that hailstorm. But yeah, I was praying that just don't come through the windshield, because if that, I could just imagine if anybody was out in that hailstorm, I seriously don't think they would have survived. The hail was at least a ½ inch, but it was high enough piled up on the sides of the road from the cars pushing it off that the water could not drain off the road. So the water was just coming down the center of the road. You're pushing the water, trying to get through. Water can't get off the road because of the hail piled up on the side. That's how bad this storm was. And another thought that was going through there is, boy, I wish I had a video camera to show you guys. But anyway, I think you guys get the idea. Worst hailstorm I'd ever been in. So I had promised, or I had mentioned, that I would talk about movies in my last video. And I'm a movie buff. I love movies. I'm totally old school, maybe because I grew up on this stuff. So I really like Clint Eastwood, and I really like John Wayne, and we won't go into any of the other stuff. One more, James Bond. So I have all of the James Bonds, every single one of them. That's what, 22, 23 movies now? I have most of the John Wayne Westerns. I have a whole bunch of them, but I am still missing a few. I only have 3 of his war films. I have The Green Berets, Back to Bataan, and what's the third one? Sands of Iwo Jima. And then my Clint Eastwood, it's a fair number. I think I got maybe a dozen. I'd have to count, but that's an incomplete collection. Still working on John Wayne. So this last batch of John Wayne movies I picked up off of Amazon, and most of them were only $5. So, what the heck? Send me a bunch of them. Excuse me. I picked up the John Ford Calvary series. I picked up Fort Apache, She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, and Rio Grande, however many ways you want to pronounce that. And enjoyed all of them. Love the Calvary movies. Love the horses going across the plains, the horns hooting and hollering and whatnot. I get a kick out of that. Riding to the rescue kind of things. Unless, of course, like in Fort Apache, your commanding officer isn't total idiot and gets you all killed because of his stupidity. But anyway, that is what it is. The one I'm gonna talk in particular is during, which one was it? Rio Grande, where Maureen O'Hara, good-looking woman, plays the mom who comes to the camp to see her son. And the one scene that just, I was grossed out about it because I'm not a touchy-feely family. We're not a touchy-feely family. She greets her son. Well, she kisses him on the forehead. Not a big deal. See that all the time. Then she kisses him on the nose. And then she gives him a quick peck on the lips. Mother to son kind of thing. And yes, it was just a mother to son kind of thing, but it's like, no! If my mom did something like that to me, I'd disown the woman. It was just a very disturbing scene. Granted, it's different times. I don't know if your family's that way. If they are, great, fine, wonderful. But I'm not a touchy-feely kind of person. You're lucky if you get a hug out of me, kind of thing. I'm not that way with the girlfriends, but yeah, with everybody else, no, it's hands off. So that was a very disturbing scene for me. Other than that, all three were good movies. I did enjoy them. I see that I'm running out of some video here, so I can go into more detail later. But I had to put in that one scene. But yeah, we'll talk a little more John Wayne next video, and then we'll hit somebody else. If you have something particular in mind, let me know. If anyone's interested in me talking about, I've got things like, I've got all the Loaders, I've got the X-Men's, I've got even the Jason Bourne series trilogy was done really well. If you haven't read those books, what is it, Robert Ludlum? If you haven't read the Jason Bourne books and you've seen the movies, go read the darn books. They're exciting. Alrighty, people, I'm out of video. You all take care. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.